I have found the biggest hypocrite of the Glasgow Global Warming Summit. It's not just a climate hypocrite, but a communist one. To Lam is Vietnam's Minister of Public Security, the kind of guy that locks people up for not being pure enough, being a threat to the regime. And he went to the Glasgow conference to hear all about how people had to cut their global warming footprint. You know, things like you've got to fly less, you've got to eat less meat, that kind of stuff. But no sooner had he heard all this than he went to London and first paid tribute to Karl Marx, the founder of communism, at Marx's tomb there, the tomb of the man who said, you know, to each according to his needs. And then this fine communist boss went to a luxury steakhouse restaurant in London where he ordered a steak flecked with gold, in fact, covered with it, a $2,000 steak. And it was a steak the chef theatrically chopped up and salted in his flamboyant trademark way before feeding To Lam by hand. What a minion, what a lovely minion. A $2,000 steak that costs as much as the average Vietnamese worker, the average Vietnamese comrade, earns in 8 months. Joining me is Rowan Dean, a fine diner himself, editor of The Spectator Australia and host of Outsiders on Sky News every Sunday at 9 a.m. Rowan, a communist eating a $2,000 steak, there's nothing that makes my heart beat a little warmer. For the hypocrisy is incredible. Plus, there's a global warming delegate who enjoys conspicuous consumption. Real Animal Farm stuff we're looking at here, isn't it?
Well, Andrew, I think you're letting To Lam off a little bit lightly. I don't think he's a double hypocrite. I think he's a 5-star hypocrite, like those lapel, those things he had on his shoulders there. I think he's a 5-star hypocrite because you've nailed him on a couple of things, but there's plenty more things. Yes, he's a hypocrite because there he's eating meat, and of course meat is the great villain at COP26, and the global warming crowd now want us to not eat meat any longer. And he's also, of course, flouting communism's idea of equality, but of course, he's in very good hands in that. I mean, every communist has always done that. So if you're at the top of the communist tree, you live like a king. So that's okay. But did you notice as well that the gold leaf, that the meat comes in gold leaf kind of wrapping, and you eat the gold as well. Now, that gold leaf must be the most carbon-intensive food and the least nutritious food on the planet. Because we know that the price of mining gold has gone up 28% in the last few years. So to mine gold is hugely carbon intensive. But then to eat that gold, which has zero nutritional value, must surely be the ultimate, if you like, taking the mickey out of global warming. But he was fed by hand. Now, I'm sorry, Andrew, I'm not quite up on my woke protocol. I'm not up on my woke protocol to quite the extent I am. But I'm pretty certain that is either racism, because he's kind of suggesting that this bloke who normally eats with chopsticks, ooh, no, he's got to be fed with a whatever it was. So is it racist? Or, worse, is it a master-slave relationship where you're fed by hand? That's a master-slave relationship in anyone's book. So I'm going, this is a slavery restaurant where they encourage, or this guy, Lo Tam, is encouraging a slavery-type relationship. Every which way, this bloke is just completely on the nose, much like I suspect that steak after it's been sitting there in its gold leaf for however long it sits there.
Well, I take it that To Lam would leave in the toilet a week's wages for one of the comrades back at home. I just think that's just, this is just amazing.